Hey guys, and primarily John. I was just going to give you a little run through on what the 3DS custom firmware slash homebrew looks like. The DSi was a pretty simple little job. Once I actually had all the appropriate pieces required. Thanks again for that video. Let's just get into it. I'm just going to walk you through the basics of what it looks like. So we have my new 3DS. Now that is a custom background theme job, but there's actually an app just built into the actual homebrew that is made to be able to download and check out those themes. You can actually just scan them with a barcode reader, and it actually downloads them straight to the device, as long as you've got internet connection as well. Now I did most stuff directly with just the SD, because internet connection on this, it's not amazing. The browser wasn't really meant for like super usability. And I just finished going through and removing a ton of extra games that I had in there, like old ones. A lot of the virtual inject stuff I did, because at the time, this was the only device that I had. I didn't have a Game Boy Advance or any of those things. So this was last summer before I discovered my passion for original hardware and just using the original system to play it. So without further ado, I've obviously got a skin on this thing, but I like it. NES theme. Now I kept one DSi game, specifically Shantae Risky's Revenge, so John could see what the interface looks like. So yeah, you don't really need to worry so much about box art, because the 3DS has this pretty amazing system built in where it actually just pulls up a 3D representation of it, and the little animated guy is plenty in terms of box art or otherwise. And all the DSi ones, as Samuel was saying, come with it pre-installed. So I'm probably not going to keep that one on there now that I actually have a real DSi to play it on, because again, a little obsessed. The only old game that I kept on here, because I'm planning to just dump a ton more 3DS titles on this once I am able to sort through that massive, pretty much 1 terabyte 3DS game torrent, because it's like the entire contents of the eShop, so there's no way I'm going to be downloading most of that. But I plan to add a bunch of new titles in, and before, the ones I had picked up were just the ones that were available from the certain sites. So you can create folders anytime. So I created one for video, so you get just on principle YouTube and Netflix on here. Got my utilities, so these are most of the original Nintendo things, because the eShop is actually still working for 3DS. I did actually purchase a couple of things. Keep those all separate. And then the homebrew. So you've got the homebrew menu. You have that thing that I don't remember. It's been a while since I fiddled with this. Anemone, this is specifically about 3DS themes. This is a battery checker app that somebody created for it. So you could go through and check the overall life of your battery and its general health. And also, if you can be a bit more precise than just the bars in the top right corner. FBI, this is where, once you actually have your CIA files in, you can actually just go in directly to the SD. I just created a folder that specifically was called CIAs, so I could go in and just install them direct from there. So it's actually, I set up a bit of a system where I could just click and drag them over in, and that's generally what's recommended. So this is the contents of the root folder on the SD card. So if you were to go on further, you'd be able to see my movies and stuff, because they require that any 3D movies get dumped on there in a certain format, but they were all pre-formatted for me, so I was a little spoiled. So we can do B for back. It's very clear that I need a GoPro that I can head mount or something like that, but Daddy doesn't have any money for that while he's spending it on the Nintendos. So start is exit, so we get it to FBI. FBI is really simple to use. This guy here, this is actually the Luma 3DS updater. So if we go into here, access homebrew, and it looks like there's an updater. So let us come back to that at another time. It's been forever since I actually went through and updated regularly. So it says that there's actually some, so this is a tool specifically for updating the bootstrap and other things that we've got on here. So I'm not really going to do a lot with that at the moment right now. So it was just more for showing what tools are available. The tools actually, even the tools all just look nicer on this thing because the menu setup and everything they had to work with is gorgeous. I've got a 3DS quick reboot if I was just having issues with it slowing down, but honestly, I've never used the battery checker or this one, so I'm thinking of pretty much just uninstalling them. I have RetroArch on here almost just on principle. I'm not entirely sure why. I have zero plans to actually, I'm going to get rid of that too. Same with PCSX Rearmed. There's actually a specific PCSX app for that. So you could run Final Fantasy VII on this thing. And the 2DS that you've got coming, yeah, you could. It seemed like a pain in the ass, so I never did. So I'm actually going to go through and get rid of like 4 of these things as well, because loading up with extra utilities you don't need is a good way to just end up with accidents happening later on. So now we arrive at the games that are actually left on here. So I have a fair amount of time put in on this Virtual Console version of Link to the Past, and I went with the Game Boy version because they made some improvements to it. The GBA version still remains the most solid version that was released. Of course, there's all the hacks and everything out there, but I didn't really have a lot of interest in that. Like I said, I left that DSi one on there so you could actually see, so you could actually see what that looks like when installed. Funny thing is, you actually, when you go into settings and you go to software and data management, you will see that they actually have separate sections for DSiWare. They know what that is, and this thing is meant to be able to support DSiWare fully. So just got that one Shantae in there. And then 3DS, you can actually go into software, and this is where, I might as well just delete those things right now. It only takes a second. So the software management, you've installed them, but you can go in on here anytime. You're not really going to, once the CIA is installed, you can't just go into the SD card and wipe it out because it's been converted and turned into a different type of raw data. So we're going to get rid of PCSX Rearmed because I honestly just did it to see if I could. We're going to get rid of RetroArch 3DS, which I'm sure you will fiddle around with because you are a RetroArch guru. RetroArch? You guys will have to tell me what you call it. Oh yeah, the battery checker that I've never used in my life. I swear. I am suggestible, as you may have noticed. 3DS quick reboot. Also, no reason for it. You wouldn't be able to go back to that menu and hit it if you were frozen on a game or something like that anyways. And I did just find out, Super Mario World. I do not need that on there either. So, this is the first time I've actually turned this thing on with the intention of cleaning stuff out. I've left a couple things on there, like Classic Dr. Mario, but I do not need them there. There are plenty of places for Classic Dr. Mario. Yeah, so just really left with useful utilities now. The speed on this thing in comparison to the OG 3DS and what your 2DS is going to be is, again, pretty outstanding. You don't have to worry about the 3D aspect. I'm going to defend the 3D on this thing until I die because it is awesome. I play certain games and I actually, it definitely adds to the depth of the experience of the game for me. Like being able to play Ocarina of Time for the first time ever, but in full 3DS in a full remaster. That's pretty freaking sweet. So this brings us to my other 2 functional folders. So we've got everything Mario. There's enough Mario titles, I just kind of put them in their own thing. And this is why I was saying you don't need to worry about cover art, because any of the 3DS games or on the 2DS, they already have all this stuff sorted out. So it just shows up and it looks gorgeous. And they did actually release a lot of stuff from the older systems. So if I'm going to play Bowser's Inside Story, I'm probably going to do it on this thing, because again, remastered and looks better on this one. Super Mario 3D Land I'm currently playing through. New Super Mario 2. Paper Jam. Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. Luigi's Mansion, the first one, was freaking hard to get a hold of. I scoured the internet for that one for a little while. And then General. Now you can choose what the size of all these are. So we've got, yeah, and these pretty outstanding 3D based. There's the 3D remaster of Kirby, Batman. Oh, apparently I just opened Donkey Kong Country Returns. Light touch that. But it is very, very quick and simple to get out. So this is the reason I'm not playing this game on Wii, because it looks and plays awesome on here. So we can close that software. This is capable of multitasking, so you can actually do some other stuff while that is open. We've got my Kirby, Extra Epic Yarn. And again, didn't mean to open that. Anyways, I think I made my point with that one. Yeah, so there's a pretty big gulf in processing power between the DSi, DSi XL. Those animations are pretty ridiculous as well. Bravely Default, it's a pretty awesome game, and this is one. Metroid Samus Returns, like the remake of Metroid 2, is outstanding graphically. Metal Gear Solid 3, yeah. Got some Castlevania, a few other RPG titles that I haven't had a chance to dig into. I felt I almost had to get Super Smash Brothers for the 3D, but really, Kirby Planet Robobot was amazing. And then there's the Zelda stuff that is going to be a little bit of time involved. And some Sonic. Yeah, Streets of Rage 3D 1 and 2 are pretty slick. And then there's actually a new Blaster Master game that was released for 3DS a little while back too. So that was just the quick walkthrough of how the system works, really. You can flip into the camera, but they actually really make use of this top screen this time around because they learned some nice lessons there. So, and this also facilitated me cleaning this up so I can dump a ton more 3DS content on it. So I indirectly have you to thank for that. I knew I was going to be making this video and I needed to do that anyway. So cool. And signing off. This just became maybe my new favorite handheld. It was really my first one, the OG 3DS. Again, those were ridiculously difficult to hack for a first-timer. I don't know why I did. Oh, there's one more thing. Yes, we've got an R4. And another reason why I love the 3DS. Bloody hell. Again, I need a better video camera. One sec. Nice way to put it in there, crooked nerd. Yeah, I was putting it in backwards. Don't really need to take a 3D photo. It is kind of cool. Quit 3DS camera. Now when you come back, whoop, there you just saw it appear. So this is Touch Bomberman Land. Tap on that guy. And now we have our R4 menu loading a completely different operating system. And all of the DS games that I really will ever have time to play on the base screen. This thing is dual core. It actually has built-in save states that work better on this than they did on the DS Lite because of the additional processing power. But yeah, the R4 is pretty great. I think it's just, since you're going to be using one unit for yourself on the DSi, probably unnecessary. But pretty cool that you can just exit out of that software and go back as well. This is kind of why I love my R4s. So now I can switch that between DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, and the 3DS XL with relative ease. And now I just realized that I'm probably going to want to end up with an original size 3DS, I mean, because I suck. Yeah. Okay. Well, signing off. See you guys.